Oh, baby. Oh, man. What's going on, Moon Platoon? I was just going to release a video, but we got a little special secret early Christmas gift from Gary Gensler himself. We got the staff report on equity and options market structure conditions in early 2021. That is, in Gary Gensler speak, the meme stock frenzy report. So let me see. This is the New York Times giving a early headline of what this report entails, and this is the SEC talking about exactly what this entails as well. What's up, Fuzzy G? What's up, Jezebel? How's it going? We got Kyle, we got Brent, we got Only Stonks, we got Wolfie Wild, we got Kelly Mitchell, we got Waynus Elabar, we got Tom Evelson. Hey, we got you guys. So we are going to talk right now about what this report entails, as well as whether or not payment for order flow is dead on arrival. Look at Meatball in his little hoodie. I just finished a video for you guys, and then this comes out. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's take a listen. Also, I have a brand new schedule for my streams, which means that I'm going to be seeing you guys a lot more often, which means you guys are first to know about the stream schedule, which I will be announcing after we cover this report. Let's take a listen. SEC today published a staff report on equity and options market structure conditions in early 2021, which focuses on the January 2021 trading activity of GME, the most famous. Wow, already putting out the most famous of the meme stocks. Because the meme stock episode raised several questions about market structure, the staff report also provides an overview of the equity and options market structure for individual investors. Let's try my best Gary Gensler impression. January's events gave us opportunity to consider how we can further our efforts to make the equity markets as fair, orderly, and efficient as possible, said SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Making markets work for everyday investors gets to the heart of the SEC's mission. I would like to thank the staff for bringing their expertise to this important report. He even thanks you in his little excerpt here. That's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy Mr. G is. What's going on? Davis, Carlos, Elizabeth, Corey, Carp. We got Galley. We got C-Men Bring My Rum. We got Trades, George W. Mug. Very, very cool to see all of you here. Here's the report itself. Let's take a look. We got introduction. How many pages is it? 45. We got 45 pages of fun. GameStop and multiple other stocks experienced a dramatic increase in their share price in January 2021 as bullish sentiments of individual investors filled social media. What's up, Kelly Mitchell? Thanks, Andrew, to you and Meatball. Luckily, I have a treat already for him. It's this one. It says nuts for donuts. It's a big old treat. Thanks for the New Zealand dollary dues. Oh, here you go, bud. Here you go. Yeah. All right, now back to the report. Thanks again for the soup. As companies' shares prices skyrocketed to new highs, increased attention followed, and their shares became known as meme stocks. Then, as the end of January approached, several retail broker-dealers temporarily prohibited certain activity in some of these stocks and options. This report of the staff of the SEC primarily examines the January 2021 trading activity in GME and the most famous of meme stocks against their backdrop of contemporaneous trading activity in other meme stocks. Because the media attention surrounding the meme stock episode raised several questions about market structure, this report will begin with an overview of the U.S. equity and options market structure and explain how individual investors' orders are typically handled. Will this say that payment for order flow is at the very least on its way out, right? Is PFOF dead, or is it simply a overstayed guest, right? You guys know, just like fish, guests and fish, they stink after 3 days. As more individual investors and participate in the markets, as many did during the volatile trading in early 2021, it is important to understand how their orders are executed and the incentives of their broker-dealers when executing these orders. In particular, the ability of a small number of off-exchange market makers to trade profitably with retail order flow has led these market makers to negotiate agreements with retail broker-dealers to secure rights to this order flow. In turn, this payment for order flow creates incentives with regard to the end customer whose order flow is being sold. Some individual investors might trade more frequently as commissions have fallen or been eliminated, which raises questions about the effect of novel features of their broker-dealers. The execution of retail orders by off-exchange market makers raises further questions about whether individual investors may still be subject to other less conspicuous costs and conflicts of interest. Let me dumb this down into ape speak for you guys. What's up, Nipul Desai? Glad you're streaming more. Hope all is well. Hey, we'll be seeing you guys every day. Every trading day. This is now a brand new announcement from me to you. What's going on? Daniel says, can I get a shout out? Hell yeah. Let's go. Jessa says, don't forget to hit that like. Hey, if you guys are just here to drop by and say hi, make sure that you do obliterate that like before you go. Helps me raise the number of people watching to the number of likes that are here and destroys the algorithm. So the main point of what we just read is that payment for order flow allows you to show your hand to the dealer to get a free admission to the casino, right? Here's my entire hand. All right. Do you like what you see? And then the casino's like, yeah, I do like knowing exactly what's about to come from your chips. I know exactly what sales you are going to do. I know exactly what purchases you're going to do, and I'll know them crucial milliseconds before anyone else. So that is payment for order flow. They pay for your data just a little bit earlier than everyone else gets it, because all market activity does have to be publicly displayed. But they get it a little bit faster, which is exactly why all of these commission-free trading platforms exist. But will they stop existing? That is the question of whether or not this is Gary Gensler's way of saying GameStop and AMC, they happened, but will they be once in a lifetime? That's for Gary Gensler to decide. While these features are not necessarily the cause of meme stock volatility, investors should be mindful of how their orders are handled, including the difference between free and no commissions. Ooh, that's a good one. What's up, Joe? Meatballers unite! I'm gonna drink some water. Dynamics relating to short selling is also an integral part of the GameStop story. Stocks seen by parts of the market are overvalued tend to exhibit significant short interest. Yeah, and prior to January 2021, GameStop was no different in this respect. However, some of the media directly linked trading activity to the presence of short interest, characterizing trading in GameStop as an act of rebellion intended to humble short-selling investors who had allegedly targeted the stock. So they're not saying that that naked shorting doesn't exist. They're just saying that people who think that these two are related could be right, but they aren't they're allegedly not technically related. Lastly, the episode highlighted the risk that exists while trades are settled and raised concerns about the mechanisms market participants use to manage those risks. Specifically, volatility combined with settlement risks led some firms to temporarily restrict trading. We discuss aspects of equity markets and options market structure below. Thanks, Gary. Oh, if payment for order flow is free, then so is Uber Eats. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Yeah, if it's free, you're the product. Word up. What's up, Joe? Dead Brother says, what is up, my dude, Meatball, and Mr. Data Scientist, Mr. Mo? To understand what transpired in January 2021, it is necessary to understand the market structure within which the events occurred. From the individual investor's perspective, the life cycle of a stock trader starts with an investor placing an order through an account they establish with a broker-dealer. Okay, so this is just explaining how the market works. I'm going to clear through this so that you guys don't spend too much time here, just so that I can announce exactly when my new streaming schedule is, so that you guys are coming in on the daily. Let's see. Options market structure is broadly similar to equities market structure with several key differences, specifically standardized listed options. So this is just how the options market relates to the non-options market. Commission's mission is to protect investors. Okay, so this is what the SEC is supposed to be here for. Very academic. Very like boilerplate so far. Broker-dealers generally must register with the commission, blah, blah, blah. Individual investors. Individual investors access with these broker-dealers. Great. In order for customers to trade options, they must conduct due diligence. Great. I don't care. I'm looking for payment for order flow. I'm looking for some sense that they're going to start cracking down on the very foundation of how a lot of these trading apps work. So let's see, a number of features which broadly include behavioral prompts. Okay, so this is how they're talking about this. They're too gamified. Don't lose your thesis, Gary. This entire page is nearly just references. There's just footnotes. Let's see. Though retail broker-dealers have reduced commissions, some have maintained or increased other sources of revenue. That's juicy. They have payment for order flow, advisory services, or managed accounts from broker-dealers that are duly registered as investment advisors or from affiliated investment advisors, interest earned on margin loans and cash deposits, income generated from securities lending, and fees from additional services. Yeah, okay. And 5, etc. Recent commission enforcement actions have highlighted some of the conflicts faced by broker-dealers. Okay. Davis says, AMC, la mama de la mama. Big Ad says, basically committed mega fraud and they laughed at retail. Wolfie Wild says, sitting on the back porch still waiting for retirement. Dogecoin retired me for a bit, but AMC, let's squeeze this. Gobble Knobber says, this is live? Well, welcome back. Hey, we're not only live, we're going to be live on the daily now, which means y'all better turn your bell icons on because we are going to be releasing a brand new stream schedule right after in the next 9 minutes, I'm going to be looking through this 45-page document. Broker-dealers report that younger investors and smaller accounts have been notable sources of new account openings. Robinhood reported that the average customer is 31 years old. Order execution and segmentation by individual investor flow. Okay, this is not about payment for order flow. Retail investors do this. This is basically everything he's been saying in every interview. So he hasn't actually, it's kind of like if like the creators of Game of Thrones told you the plot of Game of Thrones every time and then they said, but the book is coming. Let's see. The Options Clearing Corporation. Okay, so this is what the OCC does. There's something about off-exchange markets. Off-exchange market makers have more flexibility compared to on-exchange participants because they're not subject to the rules of the exchanges on which they quote. For example, exchanges are required under Rule 612 of Regulation NMS to display displayed orders for stocks in penny increments, whereas wholesalers execute freely in sub-pennies. Yeah, so that's a really good way actually to tell whether or not a bot is executing an order. Go to any trading app, and if you have a sub-penny order. Let me see if I can find one. Bots usually go to sleep around this time. Nope. But if you see a sub-penny order, that's from a bot. It can't be from a human, or at least it's from an off-exchange market. Brian says, do you think that when the squeeze happens, they can stop the squeeze and kill the momentum? Brian, if they could have killed momentum, don't you think they would have? No. The real question is, if they were trying to kill the momentum, they were successful right before that June squeeze. And then ever since June, it's been highway racing. It's been racing. Off-exchange markets use segmentation to mitigate one of the key risks traders face, prices moving against their positions after executing a trade. The bid-ask price, the difference between what a buyer is willing to pay and a seller willing to accept, normally compensates market makers for the risk that prices may move against them. However, and you guys might know this, here comes payment for order flow, the bid-ask spread is now incentivized to be as large as possible. So imagine if I was just in the middle and I heard what imagine if I was your Uber Eats driver. That's a great way to put it. But instead of paying the restaurant, you pay me, and then I give the money to the restaurant. I'm incentivized if you pay the most and the restaurant charges the least. And that's a very weird but elementary way of understanding what the bid ask is. Payment for order flow incentivizes you so that the worst performance that Uber driver does at giving you the best deal, the more money I make as a mal-incentived party to your transaction. So there it is. So it's explaining why payment for order flow is incentivized by making the markets worse. Off-exchange market makers may give the retail broker the choice of how to allocate these funds. Most exchanges offer a form of payment for order flow wherein they compensate firms that provide liquidity with rebates and charge firms that take liquidity. Okay. Stocks can execute. This is kind of like a college essay about how the markets work, and there's not a lot of advice or suggestion. I thought it was going to be a little more authoritative when it's like, and now that's why we are going to stop payment for order flow. So let's see. NSCC, DTCC. Oh, this brings me back. Okay, let's talk about GameStop. What happened? The underlying cause of the meme stock phenomenon that are unrelated to market structure are a subject of speculation that is beyond the scope of this report. The reason why the meme stock happened is not important to this report. Maybe Gary is thinking of releasing a different report. Maybe Gensler wants to release an actual report about that. But there it is, right there. The underlying cause of what happened to AMC and GME are not going to be covered in this report, which I didn't expect. But you know, at least he put it out there. Against that backdrop, in January 2021, more than 100 stocks experienced large price moves or increased trading volume that significantly exceeded broader market movements. For some of those stocks, the amount of short interest, measured as a number of shares sold short as a portion of those total shares outstanding, exceeded the market average, okay, while others had frequent mentions on social media. I thought they were going to say exceeded all shares available to short. That would imply that there's naked shorting, but I don't think this. Let me just read it one more time. I don't think this report is saying that more shares were shorted that actually existed. Regardless of the causes, many individual investors traded in the meme stocks, which reflects individual investor participation in 2020 in both equities and options market. By early 2021, increasing numbers of individual investors were downloading apps for broker-dealers. Against that backdrop, in January 2021, more than 100 stocks experienced large price movements. For some of these stocks, the amount of short interest, here we go, exceeded the market average. Okay. They really they even put it on the next page just to make it seem like they were going to talk about naked shorting. Let me see what you guys are saying. Ope Yemi is saying, is this good news or not? Honestly, it would have been weird news if they said payment for order flow is illegal, because we definitely didn't expect that quick of a like advice within like the time that Gary was hinting about it. Kristen says, same margin call. Please, same margin call. Kathleen, what's going on? Don't forget to like says, no, dude, they work for Citadel. There needs to be a specific investigation on January. I agree. There really needs to be. So GME had all these factors: large price moves, large volume moves, large short interest, frequent Reddit mentions, and a significant coverage in mainstream media. So if you guys just joined, we are covering the SEC. This is the SEC's official website, and a report on the meme stock frenzy. Like, here is the New York Times article. SEC describes the GameStop frenzy, but not what to do about it. So that is what we are currently talking about. But let's see. They talk about YouTube. Ooh, YouTube. We got a shout out. Okay, GameStop daily dollar volume and trade count. Okay, so this is just a little bit of like fourth grade data visualization. Great. GameStop has already had to receive attention, and this is when GameStop started getting really high. Overall, GameStop intraday share price increased approximately 2,700%. Yep, I remember that. This is all descriptive analysis. The increases coincided with a sharp increase in the number of individual accounts actively trading GME. Yep. This is the amount of the daily count of unique CAT accounts trading GME. Wow, look at that. This brings me back. Some institutional accounts had significant short interest in GME prior to January 2021. GME short interest in January 2021 reached 122%, far exceeding other meme stocks. Okay, don't name other meme stocks, please. In addition to individual investor activity, there was significant participation by institutional. This really feels like he's just like, I need to fill out this essay. How do I just kind of throw a couple more stocks in there? After peaking in late January, the volume of trading in GME shares and GME's price declined substantially. GME's decline coincided with several brokerages' decision to restrict GME. Aha! So they do talk about Robinhood here. By February, GME's price was below $100 per share. Okay, so it doesn't talk about any other stocks price movements very much other than GME. And then they cover AMC a little bit. Here's AMC's 300% swing. Market events of January 2021 also affected some ETFs and private funds. GME's volatility was significant enough to impact ETFs that held GME stock. Okay, I'll cover more of this during tomorrow's live stream. I will also be covering more about exactly why GameStop seems to be singled out. I suppose AMC technically rose in a proportional to where it started. More than GameStop's craze in January. Let me think. Is that true? GameStop started. Yeah, no, we were able to prove that with Moomoo. So luckily we were able to do a little bit of the numbers crunching ourselves in the past. If you guys are interested in being able to break down this entire document, we will be doing it on tomorrow's live stream in the early morn at 11:30 Eastern. That's right. So the announcement is every day expect to see me at 11:30 Eastern. So that it's 3 hours after markets open. We will be going until you guys have either no more questions or we just go and have a nice day all the way until the end of the market day. So what's up, Tony Gonzalez? We are just announcing that we are having a new updated regular streaming schedule where I will be seeing you, all of you Moon Platoon, more often. But hopefully this video gave you a good understanding of what this report is all about. If you want to hear about the specifics, we will be covering it in tomorrow's live stream starting at when? 11:30 Eastern, 3 hours after the markets open. So thank you guys so much. We will have an AMC update video later today for all of you who are curious and eager to see what happened in the world of the stock market. But thanks again to those of you who make this show possible. The Moon Platoon, the Space Legends, the Gorillionaires, those of you who have pressed that join button next to the subscribe button, like Tony. Look at Tony's golden meatball coin next to his name. That means that he's been a member for quite a long time. But there's still platinum. There's still ultra platinum on top of that, which means you don't have to pay a lot. You just have to stay a member and keep being part of the Moon Platoon. Also gets access to my 6-figure portfolio and a little bit more about 6 figs in 6 months. So whether or not you guys are on the rocket, I can't wait to see all of you back here at 11:30 Eastern and on the daily. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the money. Peace. Peace.